So I personally really relate to the tough girl before. I don't feel like I'm like that anymore, but
Yeah.
for as long as I can remember, like growing up, I didn't I think that I came into the world like a very sensitive being, like a sensitive soul that kind of was beat out of me. Like not literally, but
Yeah.
like having emotions, being emotional, being sensitive, feeling things, like being, kind of a deep feeler. It just wasn't something that was encouraged in my family. It wasn't something that was ever, okay, I guess even. I can remember, I can remember losing an aunt actually when I was really, really young. I mean, I must have been 4 maybe or something, but she was my primary caregiver. Like my parents were working and she was taking care of me and she actually went missing for a little bit when she went jogging one day. And then after a couple of days, my dad, and it was my dad's sister, my dad and his brother like went to the cops. Basically, she got hit by a drunk driver and she
Oh,
died. She passed away. And
wow.
I didn't know. They didn't tell me. But one day I asked my mom, where's Gugu? That's what I call her, Gugu, in Chinese. And my mom said, "Oh, she died." Just pretty matter of factly, like, "Oh, she died." And then I remember crying, like really. She was she was my caregiver. Um,
Caregiver.
and I remember crying about it. And after a few minutes, she basically told me to stop crying. That,
Mhm.
your dad had already been, my dad was in the room. And she said, your dad had, not in a mean way or anything. She said it gently, but she said, oh, don't cry anymore. Your dad's already been sad for a really long time.
Mhm.
And in
Mhm.
thinking about what belief I, adopted at that point, like that specific point in my life, was that like my feelings are not welcome. My feelings are not okay, basically. And that the world is like not a safe place. And so I grew up just wanting to be the tough girl, like not really wanting to show a lot of emotion, and or at least the bad negative emotions, right? Like anger, sadness, like disappointment, like rejection, all of those things. It was not okay for me to show that. And so it wreaked a lot of havoc on my relationships, my romantic relationships, feeling pretty much like anytime any of those feelings would come up. And because I am a sensitive person, things came up for me a lot, but
Wow.
always just this knee jerk reaction of needing to shut it down or needing to like pretend like it didn't exist. But it would come out in different ways because, energy doesn't go away, it just transmutes, right? And so it would I would shut it. Like if I was upset about something bothered me, I would kind of just shut it down or pretend like everything was fine. But then I would get snarky or I'd get snippy or I'd give an attitude or, just that kind of stonewalling, that kind of thing. And of course, that would blow up into it just was really bad. It's,
Wow. I
yeah.
mean, this is unbelievable. Like, there's so much to unpack here, Loretta, because I mean, I only think of you as this sweet, kind, emotional, like sharing feelings. And I know you've said before where it can be difficult, but now I can completely understand where that comes from.